Nerdtopia, yo, and we got a funny podcast. Cruising in the speeder, bullseye, and flipping womp rats. It's video games, movies, real life superheroes is what you can expect if you're wired to in weirdos. So we welcome all the newbies and the groupies, flashing boobies in the movies without cooties. In the show, it's got you drooling with this comedy, no fooling. Now presenting you your hosts is Steve and Doolin. Word, NerdtopiaCast.blogspot.com, Facebook.com/NerdtopiaCast, also YouTube and podcast 38 seconds.
Hey, what's happening, Nerdtopia? This is Doolin Dalton.
And Steve Wareham.
Coming to you from across time and space.
On the internet. The internet bends time and space. I wonder if Einstein ever thought, like, there would be a... Because if you think about it, I mean, it really does. You can send...
You know, unless we're streaming live, we're always coming to you from the past. I mean, if you think about it.
I said this in a few episodes ago, I think, that, you know... No, maybe it was a couple... I think I was posting this on articles on the site. How I wanted to, like, just sit down and, like, do a whole bunch of crystal meth and pump out as many articles as I could and then put them on the calendar to post the first of the month every month for the next 100 years.
Yeah, sure.
That way I would be sure to be published posthumously. Because I won't make it another 100 years. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm
lucky we make it 20.
Yeah. I'm going to be lucky to get 50. So yeah, we are knee deep into episode 16 today, which is the follow-up from our groundbreaking, earth-shaking, knee-quaking, liver-quivering, I could go on.
Yes.
American Dream, take it to the pay window, Dusty Rhodes, Batman special. I know I pulled there. What? People know who Dusty Rhodes is. What? No. Take it to the pay window, Dusty Rhodes.
What? No.
Oh, not this.
No, this is actually take 2. We started this not more than 5 minutes
Take 3,
ago.
really?
Yeah, we started this not more than 5 minutes ago, and I kind of took a nap a little bit earlier, and physically I'm awake. My brain is still kind of in a fog, and so I was driving the show as I usually do, and Steve was like, you know what? Let's start over. I'm gonna take the wheel.
Yeah.
You're not fit to drive.
Yeah,
sir.
yeah. It's okay. It's all right. That's gonna happen, and then I'm going to now entertain the first 30 minutes of the show with impersonations of wrestlers from days gone by. I have wined and dined with kings and queens, Daddy.
Oh God.
And I have slept in back alleyways and dined on pork and beans. Dusty Rhodes.
Was he a black guy or something?
No. American Dream. Big old white guy.
Is-
Curly hair.
Is he a black guy? Because he's like...
No. American Dream. It's not. That was his whole gimmick. It's not racist. That's Dusty Rhodes. He's the common man. It's not racist. Wore polka dots. Remember, in his valet was...
I unfortunately remember Dusty Rhodes.
What do you mean, unfortunately? He had the funky elbow, man.
He was a wrestler. I can say that about him, Steve.
He cut a promo. You have to admit, he cut a promo. He was good on mic.
No more better than, the next guy.
Who was the next guy?
I don't know, Honky Tonk Man?
He was much better than a Honky Tonk Man. How dare you?
Or, Ultimate Warrior? No. Ultimate Warrior was always on blow, though.
Yeah.
Man. Watch that guy.
And all the rain clouds come down, and all the warrior children from the stallions.
I'll tell you, man, I was watching the Hulk Hogan anthology a couple weeks ago, and I was watching, because it went back to, all of his classic matchups over the years, and then there's one at WrestleMania, I want to say 6? I could be wrong, was where... Ultimate Warrior was the IC champion. Hulk Hogan was the heavyweight champion.
Yes.
I was watching him come down to the ring, and I was just like, man, how strung out on coke is this guy? He's banging on he's shaking his head against the turnbuckle.
I don't know if you know this. I don't know if you know this. But Warrior's original name was James Hellwig. Jim Hellwig.
Okay.
And after wrestling...
Is that his real name?
His original name is what I said.
Okay.
Because there's a Falcon twist here.
Okay.
His original name was Jim Hellwig. So he goes and he becomes a warrior, the Ultimate Warrior in WWF. Has a relatively successful career. In the business, they talk about him being a stiff wrestler. And stiff wrestler just basically means... yeah. But that basically means, he's out there actually hurting people.
He had a boner. Sorry, guys.
Well, he did it. It's been well documented. He did a shit ton of steroids. So I don't...
maybe not then.
Yeah.
No.
So then he goes to WCW and he becomes Warrior, right? So apparently the moniker has stuck. I guess the moniker and the personality has affected to the point where now he is. First of all, he has officially changed his name on his driver's license. It says Warrior. Doesn't wear the face paint around anymore. That's okay. That's one. Two.
Hold on. Okay, are you mean to tell me that he legally changed his name to Warrior?
Warrior is his real name, and
Holy
he is
shit.
a ultra Christian conservative right-wing pundit now.
No way.
Like he makes Rush Limbaugh basically looks at him and is like, I want nothing to do with this guy.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean he's like way far extreme.
Bill O'Reilly's like, you're crazy,
Yeah,
man.
you're on your own there. So
That's
yeah,
funny. You know, I actually thought for the longest time I thought he was dead. Honestly, like there was an internet rumor that was going around saying that he died like back in '99 due to like a cocaine overdose or something like that. And I just kind of shrugged my shoulders and went, well, saw that coming. But
all of a sudden you hear boom.
So now is his gimmick now? He's like God's warrior or something?
No, it's just Warrior. Like that's his name. It's like, hey, my name's Jim. How are you? What's your name? Warrior. Oh. Okay.
Can
Your
you
last
imagine
name?
a conversation
Warrior?
you've never watched wrestling before, you meet this guy at a party, like, hey, my name's Bill, how you doing? Like myself and my wife Jill, we just moved in down the street, how are you?
It's like I'm fine. My name's Warrior.
Oh,
These are my kids, fucking Rocky, Colt, and Tum Tum.
Was that a fucking Three Ninjas pool?
Yeah, it was a Three Ninjas pool.
You can even throw Hulk Hogan in there with a
I
high
didn't
noon at
need to.
Ninja Mountain or something.
I did not need to. I had Rocky, Colt, and Tum Tum.
It's like, oh god. I don't really know where to go from there, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, that one's coming back to you from the Wayback Machine. I'm
And now-
Casey Kasem
And now here's a letter.
from Jimmy in San Diego.
He says, we recently moved into the neighborhood, but our neighbor Warrior likes to punch the walls at all hours of the night.
So for Warrior and the benefit of Jimmy, we're playing Pat Benatar's Shadows of the Night. Enjoy it, Jimmy.
We go running in the shadows of the night. That's all I really know.
We're funny.
Yeah.
No, we're not.
All right. So I'm driving this beast.
Yeah,
so
you don't
we're
let me take it too far away, man, because I'm gonna ruin the show
Yeah.
if you let me keep going.
We're gonna take this thing out for a test spin. So biggest news going on in the world right now is the Olympics, man. Do you don't watch the Olympics?
No, I don't watch the Olympics. I don't like sports, man. Period.
Well,
like,
yeah,
I
I know.
appreciate. Here's my thing with the Olympics, man. I enjoy like the sense of unity that comes about with, you know, the international community as a whole, where we all kind of get together. It's kind of cool because people put their differences aside, and we, you know, and it's you know, probably arguably the biggest televised event in the world. Everybody sits down and watches. Well, everybody with a TV. Not everybody in the world has a television.
Yeah.
But I kind of enjoy that sense of unity. But as far as watching it, no, I don't. I don't like to get bombarded with freaking commercials on the internet for it, because I'm not gonna watch the damn thing. But no.
Do you like but you have kind of a flair for the theatrical. So do you like watching the opening ceremonies?
I would if I ever watched it. Probably. I just haven't watched it.
Well, I spent a little bit of time watching the opening ceremonies this year. Now, again, it's been a while since the Olympics were in Atlanta. Let's see, it's 12 years ago, and then after that it was in Sydney, and then Beijing, and now it's in London. And like after the Atlanta Olympics, it's like, all right, that was in my own backyard. I can be done, whatever. I have a personal kind of affinity for the wrestling, so if there's ever wrestling on, because I'll watch the amateur wrestling stuff. But other than that, I don't really get into it that much. Swimming, I know how to swim, I know how to run. It's like, what's the point? But so I watched the Olympics this year in London, right? So the opening ceremonies, everybody comes out. They're like, "Hey, what's up, guys? We're Greece. How you doing?" And they're waving.
And they're
around.
like, "Go Greece, Latin, and
Yeah, exactly. Fucking Danny Zuko comes out.
And they're like, no.
Yeah.
It.
And then they get in the middle and start performing Summer Lovin', but it's weird because they're Greek.
Boom.
Boom. Yeah, exactly. So, but so they had it in London this year, and each year, like the host city, whoever's doing it, makes it very much like comparable to their city. So like, you know, when Beijing did it, it was all big fucking dragons and fireworks and, you know, paper monsters and shit and, you know, foldy ducks or whatever you call them. It's not racist. They fucking, what do you want me to say? They have fireworks and fucking foldy ducks. So it was a bunch of that stuff, and it's not racist.
Don't tell me. Tell the racist kid, man. He's the one going off over here.
It's not. It's what? No. But I'm about to redeem myself. I'll let Marky finish. I'm kidding. I don't want Marky to finish. Stop, Marky. Yeah, that's it. We're good. We're good.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good. So the Olympics is here in London. So the Londonites, the Londoners, are gonna make it, you know, their own. So I was watching. I caught just a glimpse of the opening ceremonies, man, and very literally, like they're in the middle.
Stop.
Hammer time?
No. Well, yes.
In the name of love.
But before you go any further, if you're gonna run commentary on any sort of sporting event, I want John Madden. So stop what you're doing right now, and we're gonna.
Well, it's opening ceremony.
Hey, John Madden, how you doing, man? Come on in. John Madden came in to tell us about the opening ceremonies. Go ahead.
But it's just a.
Steve, John Madden's talking now. Let John Madden speak, please.
But he doesn't want to talk.
Yes, he always wants to talk, Steve.
All right, let me tell you what we did here. We got a big open field in the middle. There's a Mayflower pole. They're coming up, and these guys are going to be walking around the main pole, right?
Yes.
And then you've got Doctor Who and Mr. Tumnus and
What?
Professor X and all these other British people. They're coming by, and you're walking down the field, and you know you got Mickey Mouse and let's see. I can't think. I think too fast when I'm thinking like John Madden. I don't make any damn sense.
Steve, stop interrupting John Madden. You're being rude to our guest. We have John Madden here, and you're interrupting him.
It hurts. It hurts so bad. Don't make me do John Madden again.
Look, I didn't make you do John Madden. Okay, I don't know how he feels about it.
No. Damn it. Stop. All right, so anyways, let me get back. So they have like a maypole. It's literally like this. And so if you're looking at the like, you know, I know you don't watch football, but you've seen the inside of a football stadium before. Like in the pan shot, you could see like the field and everything down there.
True
so
story.
it's an entire football field, but with like overgrown fucking grass.
Okay.
Like a meadow, and these big tents, and these people dancing around a maypole. You know, trolley.
You got pole dancers out there?
Well, technically.
Hey,
and they're all
I would watch the Olympics. Right?
Yeah. They're all trolloping along, and they got fucking Aslan out there, and Harry Potter, and
Oh, do they seriously have like all these British characters?
You know,
Like
yeah.
Mary Poppins fighting Lord Voldemort?
Mary Poppins was fucking in there. Yeah, like they had Mary Poppins come in with the umbrella.
Get the fuck out of
That's
here.
what I'm saying. It's like, so, you know, I thought if we ever got a chance to do the Olympics again, they should bring the Olympics to fucking Hollywood.
Just bring it here. Let Nerdtopia Cast prepare the opening ceremony. If you gave us a couple $1 million to play with,
A billion.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Like, can you imagine?
We would have like fucking dancing Hulk Hogan's out there doing the can.
Yeah, and have like fucking CGI monsters and shit, like tearing the middle of it. And then
every seat in the Olympics, actually everybody's gonna watch the Olympics would receive the blue pill in the mail and be like, all right guys, everybody, go ahead and take the pill now. Prepare for the experience.
And then all of a sudden the THX sound, just like their mailbox taking a pill happens in their head, and they're like, this is gonna be really fucking good.
Some dude's up there clawing his face off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm having a bad time up here, man.
Having a bad time.
I want this to end.
Yeah. So you know, it's gotta stop. I'm telling you right now, it's gotta stop. So, anyways, the Olympics are in London, and the opening ceremonies were kind of cool. And then they have Kenneth Branagh, who is supposed to be I can only assume
Director of Thor, Kenneth Branagh?
No, yeah, director of Thor, Kenneth Branagh, the very same. But coming out in like a stovepipe hat, he looked like Abraham Lincoln. So I don't know if
hunting vampires.
No, but what? No, stop. No, damn it. Okay, no, but he came out in a stovepipe hat, and he looked like Abraham Lincoln. So I'm wondering, like, okay.
That's an American character, so that doesn't fit.
But I know, but that's what I said to myself, and I didn't really listen to what he had to say because he was, I don't know, he was, you know, talking in fancy British accent. That's hard for me to get.
Yeah, it's those crazy Brits. You can never understand a damn thing they say.
Yeah. So
that's all. I'm trolling Chris. Sorry.
Yeah. So he's up there and he's kind of doing his his thing, and so I was wondering, how Jesus is a main figure in the Christian church. I'm not going too blue here. Jesus is the main figure in the Christian church, and but he's still respected in the Jewish faith as being a teacher. It's not racist. If anything, it's religiousist. But do you think it's the same thing with Abraham Lincoln? Do they respect him as a person? So it's a seminal figure.
I don't even think Abraham Lincoln ever set foot in Europe, so that doesn't even really make sense. I mean, I guess they could respect him, but if it's in London and they're pulling out Aslan and all these characters rooted in English, folklore, so to speak, I mean, Abraham Lincoln wouldn't really have any place over there.
Yeah.
He was around for the American Civil War, and he's kind of noted as an American hero. If they pay him homage, that's cool, but it's just kind of out of place.
Maybe it wasn't Abraham Lincoln. He was dressed just like him, though.
Was he hunting vampires? Because I saw a documentary once.
Are there British vampires?
Yeah, dude. Dracula. Well, no, he's Romanian.
Yeah.
Sorry. Well, but he was written by who wrote Bram
Stoker.
Yeah, so he's a Brit, wasn't he?
I don't know.
I've got no idea.
Bram, it sounds like a British name. Remember Sharon, Lois, and Bram?
Yeah.
Elephant show.
Yeah. How's that racist?
I don't know.
Fucking Sharon, Lois, and Bram. It was a great show.
That was on Nick Jr. or something, wasn't it? Uh-oh, do we have a confirmation here?
Yeah, he was playing Isambard Kingdom Brunel, who was a man that was contemporary with Abraham Lincoln, and he was reciting a speech from The Tempest.
I am so smart. I'm so very smart. That's my okay. Anyways,
it's good.
I'm getting to a point here. There's a point. So as the Olympic Games kind of gone on,
yes.
Apparently with the advent of Twitter and Facebook and all this kind of stuff,
Twitter's blowing up.
Yeah, and people are starting to get suspended for their Twitter activity, because they're under they're under the Olympic Committee rules, and they have real strong regulations. But generally, these guys are normal everyday people, for 3 years out of 4, and then they spend the last one training.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the big controversy right now is that apparently, now the Olympics tries to supply them with everything that they need to kind of live and stay on course, whatever. There are apparently not enough condoms to go around in the Olympic Village, which basically means...
I'm sorry, say what now?
Yeah, that's the big problem. There aren't enough condoms going around the Olympic Village. So apparently, everyone's fucking.
Well, from a standpoint, I remember shortly after I got married in 2000, January last year, 2011. I took a look at my wedding pictures. I was like, man, I put on a couple pounds, and I started hitting the gym pretty heavily after that. And I noticed, man, when you are that active, your sex drive goes to the roof, dude. And these are young people. I mean, they're not old people. They've got sex drive, and especially people that are that well in shape. I imagine there's probably some going on behind the scenes there.
Yeah, some international fucking is what's going on. No, don't even try. It's not racist. No, that's countries. Hey, listen, that's the way I want to see countries come together.
Yep. Okay. Yep.
Hi-yo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That should be our gift to the world.
Yeah, exactly. I think
unity through sex.
Why not? Why not?
Because everybody. Tell me a culture that doesn't have sex. Obviously, there isn't one, or they wouldn't be there.
That's true.
Quakers.
What?
Quakers.
They have to.
No, they don't. They recruit completely, exclusively from outside the church.
Who the fuck is this over here, man? You're killing it.
They make awesome oatmeal.
Yeah. Richard Nixon was actually looked down upon by some Quakers for having children.
Well, they can kiss ass. I like sex. I'm you and I are both married guys, all right. I'm not saying during my single days I had sex with everything that moved, but I'm happily married now. I have enjoyed sex in the past. I do now. Anybody who thinks it shouldn't be done, suck it.
Yeah.
And,
I mean,
well, I guess they could as an alternative.
That's like the other white meat.
So what were we talking about now?
What? No. Okay, so yeah, that was kind of my. That was the extent.
I've got my finger on the button, Steve. Say it again.
No.
Say it again.
Nope.
Say it one more time, motherfucker. I dare you.
No.
No.
So yeah, that's kind of that is the extent of my Olympic coverage, because I think if you're going to cover one,
Just fucking
yeah, you should talk about
sex behind the scenes.
Yeah, you should talk about like international fucking.
And I'm so glad that we here at NerdtopiaCast break the news.
Yeah.
The news of important things.
Yeah.
Hey, so how long do the Olympics run through?
I don't know, like a month or something, right? No, she's shaking her head. 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
So we got one more week at the Olympics.
Yeah, people fucking swim and they boat and they ride horses.
No, I've yet to see the Mexican sprinters. Have you seen the Mexican sprinters over there? Well, I'm just saying, Mexico has good sprinters.
It's a country.
It's a country. They have sprinters, and unfortunately,
I'm sure they can
a lot
run.
of those people never make it to the Olympics, Steve. They never make it to the Olympics. You know why? Because they're already here.
You. Yeah. So that's the extent of the sports coverage we'll be doing.
Sports bore the hell out of me, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're not. I guess they're not.
I'm a nerd.
Yeah.
I always have been a nerd. I think I went to the realm of jock for like one semester in high school, and
you kind of messed around with it a little bit in college.
I did. No,
Yeah.
not even in college. No,
Yeah.
my love affair was done over the course of like one semester
Yeah.
in high school where I ran track, and then it was done. I was like, no,
Well, see, now
this shit
I don't
ain't
see
for
the
me,
point.
man.
I don't see the point in unless you're doing it to keep yourself in shape, competitively running. Because it's like I'm never in that big of a hurry to get anywhere.
Well, because I was fast.
Yeah.
Fast, and I was like, okay, cool. I could compete and
Yeah.
do this, and you can just say, hey, I play a sport.
Yeah.
Then once the novelty of that wore off, I was tired of it.
I was full on indoctrinated in football and wrestling, so
Yeah, you were a jock.
I was that guy.
You were the guys that I didn't. You were not the people that my people liked.
No, I was good with it though. I was a jock, but at the same time I was in. I took drama almost every semester. I hung out with Justin. Was a band kid. Used to sit at the band kids table.
Yeah.
But I still went to all the good parties. So.
I went to good parties.
Yeah.
I went to good parties.
So, anyways, that is the Olympic coverage for today. I did see something interesting that interested me probably a little bit more than it interested you, but it's definitely some nerd news worth covering.
Sure.
Next month, finally, we are going to have the next expansion of World of Warcraft kick in. I know. Yeah, me too. But I've logged a ton of time.
It's nerd-worthy.
Yeah, I've logged a ton of time on that game, man. And in the beginning, especially when, I remember when the kids were young and it was hard for us to get out, but we always wanted to go do stuff. It was easy for me to hang out with people that I know and that I wanted to hang out with online because, and it saved money just staying inside. I could just do things on World of Warcraft.
Sure.
I
think you and I played together for a while. We had a guild going and stuff. That was all right.
But I took it at points I think maybe a little bit further than you because I did full end game type stuff. And once you start getting into the raiding piece and you're in an MMO, and that's what I said. I think on one of the episodes earlier I was discussing the Diablo and Star Wars. MMO. Well, Diablo's not MMO, but the Star Wars MMO had a free trial. I went on it.
Sure.
And it was nice, but to me, you get tired of the grind. Eventually, that's what wears you down.
Yeah.
You want to get back in because, especially with Warcraft, I think some of the storylines and the plots and what they do with the world overall, I think are done really well. I mean, if you read some of the Warcraft books, they read really, really well.
Yeah.
You follow the characters, like the Scarlet Crusade stuff, especially. Always. No, Scarlet Crusade. Yeah, that stuff always kind of captured my imagination, man, because it's like, it's this temple of zealots, and you get the legend of the Ashbringer, and you get to play inside that world, which is really cool. Sure. But the tediousness of the grind and going back and forth ended up wearing on me, and I think one of these days they're going to perfect the format to do without it. But in the next expansion, it's going to be Mists of Pandaria.
Sure.
They're going to be introducing the Pandaren as a playable race.
What are the Pandaren now?
They were in Warcraft 3. They were a hidden race in Warcraft 3, and basically they were a group of brewmasters. Very Oriental type base. But
are they pandas?
Yeah, they are pandas.
Really?
Yeah, they are actually panda bears. There are going to be they're going to be eligible for basically three different types of. It's going to introduce the monk class.
Sure. Okay.
And the monk is going to be the only class in the game. Well,
looks like Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
It's not the only class in the game, because you could definitely say Paladin can do this too. To an extent, some classes can do this as well. But it will have a healer spec. It will have a tanking spec.
Yes.
And it will have a DPS spec.
And it's also going to serve a really useful function for WoW players with a furry fetish.
Yes.
There's going to be a lot of spanking. Because I'm looking at the pictures, man. There's going to be a lot of spanking going on World of Warcraft.
There is. I said all that just to say this. Some of the best role playing. I tried to talk to you into this for the longest time.
I'm not into it, Steve. I'm sorry.
It's actually
furry's not my thing. I'm sorry.
No. We're not talking about that. Some of the best role playing I've done. I'll encourage you guys, especially if you are still playing the game, to get out there. Roll a character on some of the role-playing servers.
I tried that once. It wasn't my thing.
I don't think you were in any of mine.
No, this is actually back in 2005 when I tried the RP server.
I found now, of course, it helps to be kind of at endgame. And this was at the end of Lich King before Cataclysm when I was really into it.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that happens between expansions is they have world events. So they would have the thing that happened in Cataclysm was that there was a the big sundering, and elementals came up and began to attack the major cities, and so this was kind of we'd already downed Lich King, my raid group had taken him down, so we were clear. We basically explored the content that we could explore, and so we're biding time until the next thing. So we started getting heavier into the role-playing piece of it, and it wasn't like, you just walk up to people and you're like, "Verily, how are you doing today?" It's not like that. It's very much like
dwarves say "I."
Yeah, it's very much like, "Hey, do you wanna? Are you up for some role-playing later?" It's like, "Yeah, message me and we'll get together."
Yeah.
So I had a buddy. I think if on the chance that he may actually listen to this at some point, because it sounds like something he'd be listening to. The guy's name was Arathanar, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a little dwarf guy. Funny as hell. He's a librarian. Funny enough, he's a librarian in the D.C. area. Base Rap probably knows him.
Probably.
But he was kind of one of those guys. He's a very, very funny guy. You could tell this was his social outlet. At the time, it was my social outlet. And so we would meet. When these things started happening, the character that he played was basically, no one's like, "I am the brother of Arthas and the son of." No one does that because it's not. There's already lore there. You want to carve out your own niche.
Right.
So my character in almost everything has always been Ivorian. That's always been his name. And I made him basically the acting commander of SI-7. Which is basically Stormwind's version of the CIA.
Okay.
And there's actually a spot in there. There's SI-7 headquarters. It's run by Matthias Shaw. And basically he was Shaw's counterpoint. But he answered to a council. Whereas Shaw was kind of the political wing of my character Ivorian, answered to a council that was based in Ironforge, and this Arathanar guy was on the council. Okay. So basically, what ended up happening is we started noticing all this stuff, all these elementals popping up in Ironforge, and they don't announce this stuff. Hey, just to let you guys know, elementals are gonna be popping up in Ironforge. It's like, shit's going down. Deal with it.
Okay.
So we're in Ironforge, and all these things are like level 80, and they're just slaughtering everything.
Oh man.
Yeah, slaughtering everything except the end gamers who are up, and they're we all know how to deal with this kind of stuff, so we all get around together and we start playing. So then we start role playing it out. So basically, we begin to plan the defense of all the major cities and this is all done in real time.
Okay.
So Ironforge gets hit. We have guildmates in Stormwind, we have guildmates in Darnassus, and they start coming across the line. Stormwind's under attack. Darnassus is under attack.
Like the Ravens are flying out and leaving Winterfell, and they're sending out word.
Exactly. It was. I mean, I know that the thought of being on an MMO and role playing.
It's not the same as it's not the same as being sitting around the table and gaming.
Well, it's a different type of immersion.
You need a soundtrack for that sort of level of epic. You know what I mean?
you have some immersion here, and you can always some of the in-game music isn't bad, and especially. There you go.
Go ahead, tell your story.
Yeah.
Continue.
Okay, so anyways, everything's going on around, and so Rathanar's like, let's, we need to get to the war room and start to plan these things. So we get in there, and literally a group of 40 or 50 people that were in there are in there, and they shut the fuck up. And we start talking about planning the defense of Ironforge and Stormwind. I ride over to Stormwind. Of course, everybody in the server's in on. Yeah, everybody in the server's in on this point. Line everybody up in next to the auction house in the city, and call people to arms, and everybody's screaming, I forget his name.
I forget his name.
Yeah.
Woo!
For Varian, and they're all out there slaughtering. It's badass, man. I'd still get goosebumps thinking about it.
I got a little bit of a chubby right
now. But it was good. It was good. It was, so like I said, if I was gonna go back, I would definitely go back to check out a role-playing server. But one of the things that I'll say,
kill the damn music.
Yeah,
already.
One of the things that I'll say too is, a lot of times, and I think this is, we tried to run a few games, few tabletop games over Skype and things like that, and it's difficult to do when you know so many people in so many different places, and you're trying to get a group together. It's a means to an end as well.
Yeah.
So,
I'll go ahead and throw this out there, man. I haven't played since before Cataclysm came out. I think the last time I played, it was still Lich King. Yeah. I've never had. I think my highest level character is level 72 or 73, something like that. Because I've never really played him all the way through because I get distracted and wander off. If we have any Nerdtopians out there, maybe over the winter when it gets cold outside and I'm not, out skiing like I do up there in the mountains. Yeah. I'm not out there skiing because I don't go outside quite as much. I will get together with you guys and we can start a guild.
And I'm not back on yet, and
I'm not either, but I will if there's enough of our friends out there that want to get together and do it.
Yeah, I think that if you have the right environment, if you have people who like the game and want to advance and kind of move forward into the game, but don't take it so seriously, because let me tell you, man, there's nothing worse than being involved with people who take the game so seriously. All they do is argue over Vent. All they do is,
remember they troll on Vent.
Well, yeah, I mean, to a degree they'll troll on Vent. You get people on there sometimes that will kind of abuse the system, but
goddamn dick, all right? Get the fuck off! Your ass.
I've got balls of steel.
Your fucking mother that gave birth to you, you fucking cocksucking motherfucker. You just watch when I find your goddamn ass. I'm gonna rip your fucking balls and ram them down your goddamn throat and make you a new fucking box. Do you fucking understand me? Get the fuck off my goddamn bed, you piece of shit. I'm gonna make you a faggot when I find your goddamn ass. I'm gonna ram my fucking fist up your ass.
Balls of steel.
All right. So that's a YouTube video.
Oh, some dude trolling on Vent with a soundboard with Duke Nukem, and I've watched that literally dozens of times, man. It never stops being funny.
Yeah, it's but there are people who take it that seriously. One of the things that I had that was probably the last guild that I was in. Erica, do you remember the name of the guild that was over there that? The one, I'll tell you, look this guy up. You can tell him you heard him about the show. He can listen to us if he's still playing. He was a hell of a guild master. The guild kind of fell apart a few times, but he kept it together. It's a guy named Rindra, and it was on, what was the server? Do you at least remember the server? Okay. Well, it was just a regular PvP server. I can't remember the name. You can look him up in Armory, see if he's still playing. But the guild that he had together had, people that enjoyed the game, that had a good time. But they didn't take it so seriously that if you
take Warcraft too seriously, gonna have a bad time.
They don't pizza when they should French fry.
There might be maybe 2 people that just got that reference.
Yeah,
Steve.
but yeah. So look up some of those guilds. They are out there, and that can kind of scratch your role playing itch. If you can't kind of get a group of people together, that's the last time I got into it. I was tired of the grind as well, but I had a really good time. So it is out there with the new expansion. It's going to mean another glut of players coming in. I think I think with the advent of the free-to-play stuff, and people still kind of being attached, myself, even the free-to-play stuff that I've gotten on, I'll tell you, there are some good recommendations I can give you guys for Steam. Champions is a superhero free-to-play RPG.
Right.
It's a good game.
Yeah.
But I'm not invested in the lore.
There's not a lot of RPGs that I mean, I've tried a few others.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot that I've ever gotten into in the way that I got into World of Warcraft in the past.
DC Universe Online was
I didn't like it.
It was a lot faster paced and kind of more of what I wanted, but in a way it wasn't, because I didn't have that emotional investment I had, out of like, okay, I spent 6 hours grinding levels in the Barrens, today, so I have an emotional attachment to that character. So there's a piece of that that's the grind too.
Sure.
But yeah, so like I said, give it a shot if you hadn't. I know there's going to be another influx. Yes, it is another grind again, but maybe a good way to kind of, everybody's broke nowadays. You got to find cheap ways to entertain yourself. Don't take it too seriously, but there's good people on there. One of the coolest things that I saw when I was playing was that there was a mother who worked for a large corporation, and she was in hotel rooms pretty much every night of her life. She would come home once a month, get to see her kid.
Sure, it was a corporation. It wasn't a pimp of some
No.
sort?
She was legit. It was a very, very sweet family.
Oh, well, now I feel like an asshole.
No. It's not. But I mean, it's a comedy show. I'm kind of. This is one of the things I thought was really cool about it.
Fucking drop the rooms, dude.
Yeah, sorry. But the dad worked at home, took care of the kid. The kid was a teenager, and they all played together. So they'd all log on at night. That's how they said goodnight to each other. So I mean, there's cool little things like that. It serves a purpose, and especially if you have people spread out, it's not a bad way to keep in touch with your friends.
Yeah, I agree to that, and I've done it, several times with you, one of my buddies who now lives out in Virginia. So yeah, it's been a fun medium. I would absolutely, jump on there and play again, but I have to have enough friends that are interested in doing it.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. So that's the new WoW expansion, huh?
That's
coming out.
It looks good. I'm really excited to try the monk class. If I do get back on, that would be kind of my first stop is getting in and playing something as a monk. I've rolled with Alliance pretty much my whole life. I've
always been kind of a big Alliance guy. I've ventured into the Horde. I think I had one Horde character. And that's the other thing that really ticks me off, man. You go to the forums or whatever, and it's like this big East Coast West Coast rivalry. It's like, your Alliance are filled with douchebags. Oh, the Horde sucks. And I was just like, hey, I'm an Alliance. I like playing Alliance. They're like, the Alliance are jerks for the Horde. And I'm just like, who the fuck cares, man? There's nice people on both sides. There's assholes on both sides, man. There's no way you're going to avoid it. Stop trying to act like one faction is better than the other.
The way what I've found that got around that was staying away from
assholes
PvP servers.
Yeah,
pretty much, because that's where the ganking goes on. That's where things kind of run a little high, and then especially when you're in a role-playing server as well, you have people on there that will roll characters on both sides simply for the role-playing.
Yeah, you need 2 different accounts to do that, don't you?
No, not anymore. You can have them both on the same server.
Yeah, wow,
especially
okay.
on the just as long as you're not on a PvP. But that even may have changed since then. So what we would do is, like, I had high-level characters on both sides. We would broker deals, like the SI7 became part of I forget the equivalent on the Horde side, but basically it was Thrall's command. Grom Hellscream is now the chief of is it Grom Hellscream? Is it Grom? Okay, she's saying yes. I think it's Grom. The older Hellscream died. The son.
Okay.
Is the chief of Orgrimmar now, and then Thrall went on to deal with to become a druid of the Cenarian Circle.
Sure.
And deal with Deathwing.
All right.
So like we had these as agents. These guys as former like Thrall's elite guard. They would meet with the SI7 and broker deals kind of underground to keep as Grom Hellscream grows more and more unstable. They kind of kept him in check and kept Varian Wrynn in check because Varian was going crazy there for a while too. But the cool thing is now, like I'm reading the notes on this.
Yes.
That's pretty much the tone of the entire next. This was the Deathwing one. Like in this one, Grom Hellscream's pretty much going crazy, and it's the Horde and the Alliance uniting against Hellscream. The Horde leader. So to see that kind of play full circle in the years that I've been on it's pretty cool. The other really cool thing about this new expansion is that Pandaren will be both Horde and Alliance.
Okay, because I was just, as you were talking just
Yeah.
now, I was Googling. I was like, well, if this is the race for the Alliance, who's going to be for the Horde?
No,
So it's-
you're going to start
so-
out faction neutral until level 10, and then you get to pick your poison.
choose.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that's going to bring a new dynamic. So I think if they do continue WoW in this iteration, which I'm a fan of, man, I think that this is a very kind of to be somebody who's done it for an extended period of time, it is a very unique experience, and I think that you can begin to start changing things like maybe making faction neutrals or splintering off. Maybe
Well,
the next
you
expansion-
can. You could always do a faction transfer. It costs like $10, I think.
It
something
did.
Like
It
that.
would cost me 50. I think it was 15 to do a 25. From what I remember, these prices probably aren't the same anymore. To do a faction transfer, and then it was like 15 for server transfer, something along those lines. But yeah, so they're going to start out faction neutral. But that's what I've always said. It's like the storyline's always been built up that you could have 4 to 6 different factions. Yes, it would be confusing in PvP, but it would make things like role-playing and story development that much better because you have the undead who really aren't aligned with anybody except the undead.
Yeah.
You have, the Tauren who are much closer to the Night Elves than they are the Orcs. So, so I'm excited. I'm hoping they can start doing something. I would be lying if I didn't say my interest was and my curiosity was repeaked in the whole thing. Unfortunately, doing everything that we've got going on right now,
You just don't have
not
time. There's no time.
But if there was a way to kind of carve some out, that would be something I'd be interested in getting back into.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What else you got?
I had one more just really quick thing. I don't know if you heard about this. This is kind of weird. So we had.
So weird.
It is.
Oh my
It's
God,
very
it's
weird.
like
We
so
had
weird.
a Pee Wee
You
Herman
did massage
moment.
and blow me.
We had a Pee Wee Herman moment in Hollywood this week.
Did oh God? Are you talking? Did John Travolta finally go off the deep end and
No.
beat off on
This
the back
is
of
kind of
somebody's head?
surprising. Are you familiar with Fred Willard?
I don't think I know Fred
You
Willard.
you know his work. Best in Show. Fred
Oh
Willard.
yes, right. You're showing me a picture of him now. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's from Best in Show. I've seen him in any edit. He's that guy.
He's that guy. He's in like a lot of cable
Yeah,
commercials.
you see him and stuff, and
Yeah.
he was very funny in Best in Show.
Best in Show, all the Christopher Guest stuff.
Yeah.
Very just a comic genius.
Uh-huh.
Happily married to a woman.
Yes.
He was caught in a less than reputable film theater in
He's
Hollywood.
a man, he's married. Maybe he shouldn't be there, but that's it's-
to each their own. He's caught in in a less than reputable film theater in Hollywood.
Okay.
According to reports, with his self fully exposed
Okay.
and taking advantage of the ambiance that theater provided.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Like you do.
was that's apparently frowned upon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Which,
I've
to be
never
completely
been
honest-
in one of
To
them.
be completely honest, if you're gonna with the advent of the internet, why are you going to porn theaters? Second
That's
of all,
true.
if you
man.
go
You
there,
do that shit in the comfort of your own bedroom.
Well,
you don't have to go out in public for that anymore.
if you're gonna go to a porn theater, you
Yeah.
should pretty much expect to masturbate.
Yeah, well, it's like what was it like back in the early '90s or something? Pee Wee Herman, or Paul Rubens, whatever. He got pegged for doing it, and no pun intended. He got pegged for doing that. But back then you didn't have the internet in your on your phone or on your laptop. So I mean, if you wanted to do that, you had to go somewhere to get or grab a magazine or something. But the interactivity wasn't there like it is. So what's the excuse for doing it nowadays?
Well, look, everybody needs a rush every now and again.
I guess.
The man is 72 years old.
Is he? He looks
lived
great.
It looks great.
Yeah.
Has a great career. Very sharp, funny, witty guy.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I personally am giving him a pass for this. I'm extending what clout I have, and I'm giving Fred Willard a pass for this because I want you to hear how he handles this.
Okay.
Okay, so he goes on. I'm going to credit Olivia Barker at USA Today for this article. It's on. It's titled. It's in their life section. Fred Willard, Jimmy Fallon have funny face dash off.
Okay.
I'm just giving you that so you can look it up and read it yourself.
There's a face off.
Yeah.
I will become him.
It says.
Oh my God! It's like so weird. It's
I know.
Nicolas Cage.
I don't know what's going on. My face is off, and it's like.
I'm more like a face protector.
So Fred Willard goes on Jimmy Fallon. This is what happens.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
It says, article says, a week after his arrest for alleged lewd conduct in a XXX theater, Fred Willard turned up on Late Night with Jimmy Fallon Thursday, quipping, "It's the last time I'm going to go listen to a movie when..." Shit. Back up.
Okay.
Redo. "It's the last time I'm going to listen to my wife when she says, 'Why don't you go see a movie?'" Ha ha ha! Everybody's laughing, right? You can joke about this.
Yeah,
so
sure.
He goes. He actually kind of gets some stuff out. Pardon the pun. And what movie did the 72-year-old actor / comedian see? Was it The Firm?
Ooh.
Said Jimmy Fallon. Said a snickering Jimmy Fallon.
Yes.
Fred Willard pipes back. He's like, "No." Fred Willard says no. Jimmy Fallon says, "Was it Free Willy?"
Oh, no, he didn't, dog. No, he didn't.
Fred Willard says no. So Jimmy Fallon's got a week and a half prepared for these fucking jokes.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, that's a different story for another day. Was it Anaconda?
Oh, shit, the movie about the snake.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Okay, so here's what Will said. He goes, "No, sadly, it was Get Shorty."
Oh,
So we went
self-deprecating humor for the win.
Yeah, he went there, and he basically was just like, "Guys, look, I got caught doing something weird and embarrassing. It's like I'm not. I don't think he's come out and said I didn't do it, but he's saying I did nothing wrong. Because to be completely honest, if you're in that theater, I mean, it's not like he has kids watching him. Like no one goes there.
He doesn't have a Saturday morning cartoon show.
Yeah,
you know,
well,
he's not.
But
He's
by
not,
the same token, you don't go to
you
those
ask a
theaters.
5-year-old, "Hey, what do you think of Fred Willard?" And kid's like, "I like Dora."
Yeah, it's not like you go to those theaters to make direct eye contact with the people around you. You know, I mean, you have
Still
to
awkward,
assume.
but yeah.
You have to assume that at the very least there's some cloth tugging going on. You know,
Sure. It's a little pocket pull.
Yeah,
if you will.
yeah. So he's just basically like, "Look, this kind of happened. You know, bust my balls all you want, but you know, my wife, you know, she's got to be married to me. So why don't you just kind of take it easy? We laugh. It's funny.
At least he's having a laugh over
But
it.
he's like, he's being like ultimately very cool about that.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really
And
cool.
you're like, well, when that happened to Pee Wee Herman, and we weren't in the age of social media that we are now, but he disappeared, man. Like he vanished, and that was tough because that dude did have a Saturday morning kids show.
Yeah.
And they canceled, almost like ruined his career for like 20 years. Like he's just now started to come back and do it, and he's kind of brought back that character a little bit. But I mean, he's like 20 years where he wasn't doing anything because of that.
Willard came out and owned it. He
Yeah,
was like, look,
absolutely,
he's
man.
like, this isn't fun for me. I want you to know that this is something I enjoy. This is kind of a dark period in my life, but I did it, and I can't hide from it, and I'm not going to try. This is something that happened. So to me, Fred Willard, you get a pass, man. And to be, you know, I don't, you know, that. Learn to use the internet. Go take one of those adult community college classes and learn to click around. Because I'm telling you, number one, you're going to save money. Number two, you're going to save embarrassment. Number three, you're probably going to save in gas. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Might lose out in tissues and Vaseline a little bit.
Well,
but that's a
renewable
sound,
resource.
it's a renewable resource, and it's a sound investment.
Yes, it is.
So is that got anything else this week, or is it on to me?
It's on
Can
to
I
you.
Can I have the wheel back now?
Yeah, Doolin, take the wheel. That's a Carrie Underwood song. I'm running fumes.
Man, it's funny because you're like, here, I'm gonna steer. You're obviously not fit to drive, and then by the end of it, you're like, I can't do this.
Pull over.
Dolan,
I just cut a story.
Dolan, wake up.
Yeah.
Dolan, wake up. You need to drive right now.
Yeah, I just cut a story that really, I mean, it like took a long winding road to fucking nowhere. So we're gonna turn it over to Doolin.
So a little bit of news. Marvel is in collaboration with ABC Studios to possibly do a weekly Avengers TV series, Steve.
Okay.
So it's not going to be, you're not going to see Chris Hemsworth and Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. on your screen week after week, but you might see they're alluding to maybe it might be like a cop show or something like that set within that universe.
Yeah.
So I think it would be kind of cool because it can be the everyman's take on the superhero myths.
Yeah, that makes sense. You could have kind of like Shield Agent CSI kind of show.
Yeah, I think that'd be really cool. Like, just make it a drama, and then just see from the people that do everyday law enforcement. This is the stuff that the big galactic battles leave behind.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, man, you ever think about it, I don't think I would ever want to live in that universe, man, because there's always some sort of, I mean, like, we live under the threat of terrorism in the real world. Imagine, like, that times 1,000. There's intergalactic terrorists out there that are going to blow up the Earth just because.
Yeah.
Just because we don't fucking like Earth.
Yeah, no, that's, you know, unless you were granted superpowers and you got to go out and, like, you know, be a part of it all. I don't think I would like to live
I don't
in
even
that
think I'd
universe
want to
either.
be a hero in the Marvel Universe,
Oh,
man.
I
It's like
I totally would.
Fuck, you fight and you fight and you fight for years, and then one day you're finally granted a bit of peace.
Yeah.
You die.
Yeah.
Finally, you know, and then you know what? In 2 months, you're back again.
I
There's no peace. Man.
I have a superhero complex. And I think that's what reading comic books at a young age does to you. Like you end up growing a superhero complex, and that becomes like, you know, the slightest person's in peril, and you're like, there's got to be a way I could put a cape on and take care of this, you know. So that, you know, I would take that over monotony and the chance to affect change, I think, over a sense of normalcy.
So I was saying, you know, maybe we might be looking at Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker, in the later. Come on, you don't want to see Rush Hour 4, Shield PD.
No, I don't want to see that, actually.
Rick Jones and Bucky, Steve.
Rick Jones and Bucky.
I don't know, because they're like two of the most worthless superheroes, or they're not even really superhero. Bucky kind of was. Rick Jones was just kind of like a sidekick.
I'm Rick Jones.
He's like a sidekick to Bruce, not even to Bruce Banner. Like, hey, how you doing? Hey, Bruce, can we hang out this weekend? And he's like, God, no, Rick, I'm busy. Hey, I can do jumps on a motorcycle.
You want to watch me do jumps? No, I can do.
It's Michael Cera as Rick Jones.
Hey, Bruce. Hey, listen.
Hi, Rick. How are you?
I was wondering if you weren't doing anything. Maybe we could.
Well, actually, I'm gonna go out with Betty tonight. We've got tickets.
Okay. Well,
to go see a show tonight. So,
yeah.
But it's nice that you stopped by, and I appreciate you coming by, Rick.
No, I was saying, you know, if you want to go to like a record store.
Yeah.
We could probably find some 1980s punk pop stuff.
Well,
and listen to it.
No, no, that's all right. But I'll tell you what, if you want to stay here and house sit for us.
Oh yeah, no,
and,
sure.
You know, and watch the dogs. Beware the giant poodles, though. They're really nasty when they get mad.
No, I love dogs.
I don't know where we were going with that.
I don't know. No, I can't stop hearing his voice.
Go away, Michael Cera. Nobody likes you.
That's going to be the name of my autobiography one day. It's going to Go Away, Michael Cera.
The man who understood him.
Yeah.
So a little bit more nerd news. We're not. I mean, the Aurora shooting was a while ago. I don't want to report on that. It just kind of brings the house down and stuff like that. It was something very tragic. You want to look into it? We've got a good handful of articles about it on our website, www.nerdtopiacast.com. But in the aftermath of this, you know how remember September 11th, like all these movies were postponed and pushed back, and things were digitally changed. And
it had a huge effect on Spider-Man, Spider-Man.
Yeah, because of the skyline. They had the World Trade Centers when that was being filmed, and by the time the movie came out, not so much anymore. Yeah. So WB is toning down the Beware the Batman TV series. Now, this is a a computer animated series that's supposed to be coming out sometime fairly soon. And so they've gone through some of these episodes, and they have changed the guns to make them look less realistic and more cartoony. So instead of having cylindrical barrels, they are square barrels. Let's not remind people that guns exist, Steve.
Yeah.
Let's let them forget about it. Let's replace them with super soakers.
Yeah,
it's just a bit extreme. You know what I mean?
It's
like people say things like let's remember, but let's let them forget at the same time.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I anything that is done. What kind of bugs me, I think, is when people do things to appear as if they're kind of holier than thou. Yeah. It's like, I'm going to do this, and out of respect to the victims of the Colorado shooting, and they use that to kind of further their own cause and be like, this is news. I mean, the first thing you learn in show business is that any news is good news. So for that to be for that to be kind of.
I mean, it's just to me, it's just like, hey, look at what
it's
we're doing to make
weird.
people happy. You know?
It's weird. It's weird to me. I don't like it.
It's so
but,
weird.
But I mean, you know what? To be completely honest, if any of the families of the victims of the shooting said that was something special and it meant a lot to them, then I would say you do it and
Well, and this happened last week. We didn't talk about it because we were talking about the Dark Knight thing, but and kudos to Christian Bale, man, just being a stand-up dude and going out there to Aurora, Colorado, and visiting the victims of the shootings that were in the hospital and attending. I think he went to a memorial for the victim shootings, and so that was kind of cool, man. Like the Warner Brothers said that he didn't have to do that.
Yeah,
like that wasn't them sending him out there. He did that of his own volition.
And in full court press for the premiere and things like that too. He took time out of what has to be a hellish schedule for him to go out there and do that. So that was real. You don't expect that in Hollywood.
That about makes up for the Terminator Salvation set debacle.
Well, yeah, and I've listened to that, and you don't know what happens. Funny. I mean, he's a master of his craft. So.
Oh yeah, I know. If myself, I'm an actor, and if I'm trying to rehearse or something like that, and someone keeps messing with me, I'm gonna get pissed off eventually too. So I get it. So there's a lawsuit going on, or what's the dude's name? Torrance Brown Jr. He was present at the Aurora shooting. He's suing the movie theater. He's suing the shooter's doctor, and he's suing Warner Brothers.
Okay.
Which is a bit out there, I think. But his lawyers are saying, hey, someone's got to be responsible. And so I thought that was, we'll say humorous. I'm going to say funny.
I think he's trying to get a check.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to get a check. So I thought that was funny. And then I went ahead and I went out and I found, here's a list of very funny lawsuits. Okay, so in 1995, there was a man by the name of Robert Lee Brock. He sued himself for $5 million. Now, he claimed that he had violated his own civil rights and religious beliefs by allowing himself to get drunk and commit crimes, which were grand larceny and breaking and entering, which led to his incarceration. So, during the time that he was serving his 23-year prison sentence, he decided to sue himself. And if you're wondering, Steve, what he had to gain from this, it was because he was unable to earn income being a prisoner. So he was expecting the state would pay him off for suing himself. $5 million. Hey, you're being, you committed these crimes. Let's pay you $5 million because you sued yourself.
Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense.
In 1991, Richard Overton sued Anheuser-Busch for false advertising after beautiful women have failed to appear in his backyard. He claimed to have suffered emotional distress, mental anguish, and financial losses in the neighborhood of $10,000.
He must have had a hell of a party planned for them, man.
I'm saying.
That's a buffet table right there.
There had to be a petting zoo and a clown going on there, man.
Yeah.
In 2000, Cleanthe Peters sued Universal Studios because she went to Halloween Horror Nights and it was too scary, Steve.
Yeah.
Emotional distress. Too scary.
Well, yeah, that's gonna happen.
It's all right. We're gonna move on. I'm not gonna offer any further commentary on that one.
Yeah.
Let's see. In 2006, Alan Heckard sued Michael Jordan for $832 million because he was often mistaken for Michael Jordan, so he decided to sue for defamation of character. Claims he suffered permanent emotional injury. He dropped the case later. In 2005, Austin Aiken sued NBC for $2.5 million. He claimed that there was an episode of Fear Factor which caused him suffering an injury. The contestants ate rats on television, which made him dizzy, lightheaded, and caused him to vomit and run into the doorway of his home. And the judge said that the case was frivolous. So these are kind of fun. And then there's one more. There's one more that I'm going to share in the neighborhood of frivolous lawsuits. And this one is just laughable. In 2002, Edward Brewer sued Providence Hospital for $2 million for negligence because the hospital staff, Steve, had not prevented him from raping one of the hospital's patients.
You know what?
You didn't stop me, and I suffered emotional distress for raping somebody.
Why did you let me? Why did you let us do that? Puppets were a bad idea.
Terrible idea. There was blood everywhere. Oh, that was terrible.
What? No.
You're lucky I don't have the...
Yeah, I am. I'm very lucky. No. It's over. Moment's over.
Are you sure, Steve?
Yep.
Well, man, we're gonna get out of here. in
And
just a
on
minute.
that
But
note.
well, not yet. We're about to get out of here. But once again, we keep on saying it again and again. I picked up the Dragon Con progress report this week. There's lots of things to do, man. We're gonna be posting our itinerary on our Facebook page here pretty soon.
Yeah.
As soon as we get the schedule, the official schedule. There's lots of cool, fun things that are going on there at Dragon Con this week. This week, next month. Yeah, the end of this month, beginning of next month.
Yeah.
So a lot of fun things we're gonna have planned out there, man. If you're gonna be at Dragon Con, come on out and see us, man. We want to hang out with you. They've got a podcasting track we're going to be attending, sci-fi, fantasy, Tolkien, Star Wars. I mean, so it's gonna be it's gonna feel like we died and went to Valhalla, Steve.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. Not the crowds. I'm not a big crowd person, but please come up, introduce yourselves. We'll be the guys from the podcast.
We'll be the guys that look like us.
Yeah, we'll be those guys.
All right, man. You got anything else this week?
I don't, man. I'm exhausted. I'm gonna go take a nap.
All right. Well, guys, thanks for nerding out with us for NerdtopiaCast. This was Doolin Dalton.
And Turd Ferguson.
Do it right, Steve.
Steve Wareham.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night. Find more free funny stuff like this at www.nerdtopiacast.com and be sure to look us up on iTunes and Stitcher.